Okay, so we've got Jimmy here. Long time, Jim.
Been a while.
Been a while. Just finished watching the Spurs game. Good result for you lot. How did you see the game today?
It was interesting because I'm not like this whole lockdown scenario. It feels like a lot of it's still pre-season to some of the guys. That the intensity isn't really there yet. I think Spurs Man United the other night, just because Spurs Man United typically is a big game. I thought we'd get the same from West Ham, to be honest, London derby and all that. But the first half was just really slow. It was like watching paint dry at times until Moore had a shot. But it sped up the second half. Obviously, we got the result, over the moon about the result, because 3 points is 3 points this end of the season. So, yeah, you know, if you're looking just at the second half, then yeah, we've done all right because we got 2 goals. We was on the front foot. Yeah, I know they hit the post, but you're not going to go for a whole game without anyone having chances. You need a bit of luck sometimes, which we got with the first goal and a couple of defensive bits, and yeah, come off. I thought Lo Celso looked good. I think he's a classy player.
Saying that, so they look back on it. Obviously, there was a handball, which is a ridiculous rule, but letter of the law, it touched his hand, and then it went in for the goal. Do you think he got a little bit lucky there, or?
You know what? When I saw the first replay, I was like, "Oh, that's it, his hand." And then when they kept showing it over and over, particularly when they showed it from the other angle, I was like, has it brushed his hand or hasn't it? So I can kind of understand why the guy at Stockley Park, because if they're going to disallow it, they have to be sure.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and say, no, it's the same as a red card or penalty. They have to be sure in what they're saying. No, that has definitely happened. I've done my referee course when I was younger. I've refereed a lot. You're told, if you're not sure, don't give it, because that affects the outcome.
That's fair enough.
Don't do anything. Having said that, if I'm on the receiving end, I want that stopped all day long. And particularly when some of the silly ones you saw, not only this year, last year, with VAR, when it was like in the Champions League and stuff, like the most minimal brush. Like we've gone to technology. I'm okay with goal line technology. I'm okay with VAR being used. The ref has to make the decision. Not a bloke 50 miles away, not anywhere. The ref needs to go over, look at the monitor, he makes the decision. When he looks and goes, I don't think that is, great, crack on. Because that is his interpretation, and that is how it is. So, you know, I do feel a bit there. If I was on the receiving end, I wouldn't be best pleased. But like I said, you've got to ride your luck sometimes. We deserve a bit.
Well, you're the better team anyway. So sometimes you've got to ride your luck, like you say. So obviously leading to that, now you've got the goal. They had to open up and come out and you try and get something back, because before that they kind of was just trying to protect the fort at all costs. From that, now they've opened up. Harry Kane got his goal. He's got his touches in the opposition box. Is he back?
Yeah. I was worried that, because you know he never scores in August. Harry Kane never scores in August. I was worried he was going to treat these next couple of games like August. I thought we were really going to struggle. But look, strikers thrive off confidence. Not that I think he particularly needs much. I think he's him anyway.
Yeah.
But that will certainly give him a lot of confidence coming back and scoring so early, particularly with some of the comments you've heard in the press recently. That just silences everyone. Says, yeah, all right then, cool. I just thought he took the finish really, really well. I know it's a one-on-one, you expect him to score, but you know, you've seen strikers miss them. And I just think it was really class. I don't know if you noticed, I'm one of these who really looks at detail in games. He only took 3 touches for that goal. He took the first touch, and then just before he shoots, he takes a tiny touch. It just opens his body, and it just gives him the angle to put that in that bottom corner.
Yeah,
otherwise,
he knows what he's doing.
If he doesn't have that it's such a delicate little touch. If he hits that too hard, too soft, whatever, defender gets back, he misses the shot, whatever. So, you know, the second touch is so important there. And I think he will take a lot from that, because he deliberately done something. It wasn't, you know, flicked in off his backside. You know, he's very deliberately done it. So, yeah. So, hopefully now, you know, little run of games. I know we haven't got Sheffield United for 9 days, but if he gets another goal there or an assist, you know, and as long as he's getting chances, the goals will come. We know that. We know he's a machine.
that leads me to my next question. So where do you see Spurs finishing this year?
If we can put a run together, there's no reason we can't get the 5th spot, and potentially, depending on other people, the 4th. Because United have still got to play Sheffield United, I think. We've got to play Sheffield United. I think Leicester have got Man U and Sheffield United. And they've started slowly. And I can't see a Brendan Rodgers side going 9 games without a win, particularly when you've got the likes of Vardy in the team.
Yeah.
So I think there's more trips and twists and turns to come. From football perspective, neutral, taking my Spurs colours off for a minute, I'd love it to go to the last day where there's 3 or 4 different permutations depending on the results, or at least the last couple of days. So it's exciting to the end because, I mean, the league, who's going to win it was over a long time ago. So, yeah, exactly. So, and even if Chelsea could maybe slip up to give 2 spots, that would make things really interesting. If they dropped and 5 teams go for 2 spots, that what an end to the season that'd be.
Yeah, that would definitely. I mean, I do think Chelsea won the other day, so they look all right. But I do think those 2 spots, there's an argument for them. My question to you is, where do you think Spurs will finish? If you could just pick a spot.
The heart says 5th.
Okay.
Right? The heart says 5th. The head says we need a lot of luck to get there because it's not entirely in our hands. Again, you put the run together, them other teams aren't going to go and win. Or if Sheffield United slipped up last week, yeah. One of their guys is going to be suspended now for the Spurs game because he got sent off, I think. Was that right? Yeah, he got sent off against Newcastle. So, you know, all of a sudden you beat Sheffield United. They've lost 2 in that run. They're suddenly maybe the less favourite to get it. And then you're going, is it Spurs, United or Wolves? Mm-hmm. If Leicester take points off United, we're only a point behind them. So suddenly we'll be 2 points clear of them if we win our game.
Leicester United is the last game.
We've got to do the business as well, of course.
But just so you know, Leicester United is the last game of the season. So you won't find out till then. So if you was to say 1 to 10, how happy are you right now with Spurs? With the whole package? Underneath Jose, how you think you're going to go moving forward?
Okay. The performances that we've put in across the season, as in the players, because I think with Spurs in particular, you can say this for anyone, but with Spurs in particular, you have to look at it in 3 very specific categories. You've got the players, you've got the manager and the coaching staff, and then you've got the chairman and the guy that owns and runs it and calls the shots. Okay? With the players, as a whole season, I think it's been a very average season for us. 6 out of 10, maybe 5 out of 10, because I don't think they were performing at their potential. There's got to have been something behind the scenes. I didn't want Poch to go. I really didn't want Poch to go. However, once Poch went, Mourinho was the only candidate because he was the only one with a pedigree to come in and go, right, I'll sort this out. If you look, we've got a better shape. I'm fairly happy with Mourinho. But I don't know what more anyone could have wanted from him. We're not leaking as many goals at the back. Tonight's the first time we've had our 6 attacking options, so we look better and we look like we've got them. Everyone's saying, oh, he's defensive, he needs to attack. Well, how can you attack when all 4 of your front men are out injured and the only 2 you had was Dele Alli and Lucas Moura? We even bought someone in January, played 2 games and got injured. What do you want? What do you want the bloke to do? You know, everyone wants miracles. Spurs fans in particular, so I'm going to get grief for this, but Spurs fans in particular, we're the most cynical, we're the worst, we're the first to jump on our back. And we buy a player, and that's it. We have to win everything that year. When we don't, it's, throw our toys out the pram.
So you're happy under Jose then, in all?
If I had the choice, I'd never got rid of Poch. It was the players. Because this has always been my argument. If you needed to get rid of Poch and you brought in Mourinho, surely you're going to back Mourinho financially. Okay? If you're not going to back Mourinho financially, bearing in mind the clubs he's been at and where he's won, he's always had money, bar Porto. Why would you not have given that money to Poch, particularly when he just got you to a Champions League final? But you didn't give him the money to invest, other than one player, Tanguy Ndombele, right? Who looks like he needs a year to adjust, but he looks like he's a good talent as well. So you've replaced the manager with another one, and if you're not going to give Mourinho the money, then what was the point in bringing Mourinho in? You might as well stuck with Poch, like, because you're actually seeing now under Mourinho, I think it's starting to really, people are going, oh, hold on a minute. We were overachieving, finishing second and third and getting a Champions League final. We rode our luck a lot, and we was overachieving massively because we was ahead of where we wanted to be. Poch had a 5-year plan. 5 years was, let's get to the level where we can compete. The next 5 years was, right now, let's win something. I think the media have got a lot on that as well, because they create a lot of pressure, as we know.
Yeah, 100%. No, I'm with you on that.
But with Jose, I'm pretty happy. I'd like to see. I know there's a lot of different things going on, COVID and stuff. So I don't know how that's going to affect finances. But I'd love to see us go into the market. I think there's 3 or 4 players. Right back, we definitely need a new right back. Ori is a walking accident. If he was me being cynical.
With me, it's always been a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And
cheers, buddy.
Great meeting, bro. I'll speak to you soon.
Take care, pal.
Nice one.
We're ready.